think that's way more interesting than Dragon Ball, anyways.
Yeah, you guys don't mind. I don't want to
No,
interrupt if you guys are talking about something else.
yeah, no, I don't think I would ever get to post this image talking about Dragon Ball.
Oh no.
I'm weak.
What?
Yeah, because there is no new meta. There is no new meta for Dragon Ball. It's hyper solved.
Well, yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, Reaper. We can talk about it.
Okay. So, Parrot, I'm gonna ask this before you go any farther, or going farther to the conversation. What do you believe scales out reversal on CSAP?
What?
Do you believe, like, okay, for example, where do you believe Platonic concepts scale?
Yeah, I think they're 1A.
1A, okay, bet.
Archetypal ideals, yeah. The ideal forms are.
Okay, so that's a solid start, like a place we can start at. Okay, let me get scans for you real quick. 1 second.
Are you gonna argue the key Platonic concept thing? Oh.
No, I'm just gonna scale the tree, then like talk about like that's just in one universe, and like hella shit goes beyond this.
You're gonna argue the tree is in one universe?
I'm gonna argue the tree is the fundamental aspects of all universes, but that's just baseline. I'm not even like I don't need that part.
It's not true that the tree of knowledge is just in one universe in SCP.
I know, that's why I rephrased it. I said it's the fundamental aspect of all universes.
Okay, well the Platonic ideals also participate in all things in the universe. Like their aspects participate in everything that doesn't matter.
That's where I'm gonna have to
except for bad things.
This is where we're gonna have to cut now. If I'm correct on this, you've had a conversation with BR and Hunter on multiverses, haven't you?
I don't know who that is. Beyond Hunter? I don't know.
Okay. We'll just cut to the chase then. So let's make an example. You know what a Type 4 multiverse is, correct?
I think it's an incoherent idea, but I know about it.
Okay, then since you think it's incoherent,
it's been a while since I read Tegmark's paper, but it's pretty flawed and weird.
Okay, fine. Then we'll go with this. Are you aware of what like set theory? Like I'm saying, Cantor's interpretation, and von Neumann's universes.
You want to talk about naive set theory?
We're probably gonna go down that route, yeah.
But you just said you wanted to talk about Cantor's set theory, right? You want to talk about naive set theory, not ZFC?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay,
have you read Cantor?
Yes, I have actually. I use it a lot in most of the debates I use.
What text are you thinking of right here?
What do you mean? Rephrase that? What'd you say?
What text are you thinking of Cantor's?
What text? Do you mind elaborating a bit farther? I don't think I understand the question.
Like what essay or book of Cantor's are you thinking of?
Cantor's. I'm using Cantor's Attic, like the actual website for like any type of cardinality.
Okay, so nothing to do with Cantor's own work then. So it doesn't actually. You're not actually talking about naive set theory. You're talking about post ZFC set theory.
I don't know though about that because I've read several articles upon what Cantor believed, and Cantor did was part of like the entirety of sets of infinity. So I still think it deals with what he was like operating with or inside the field of it.
Cantor doesn't have anything that can go beyond what we would call a class in post ZFC set theories.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there. You believe now this is where I think this is a bit goofy. Are you aware of what like Cantor's interpretation of what actual infinity is?
You mean absolute infinity?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it, as actual infinity or absolute.
I know about it. Yeah, it's not a number, right?
I didn't say it was.
It's not an amount of something.
I know. I'm just saying he considers it like the highest peak or as high as you could possibly get into like numerical. I can't say numerical actually. I'm just saying like the highest peak of set theory, correct?
No, it escapes set theory. It's not a part. It necessarily escapes it because it's not a number.
I don't want to get into like wordplay. I'm gonna say beyond. Is that okay with you?
Okay. Whatever. It's synonymous with like omnipotence or God or something like that.
Yeah,
it's different from what the sort of things he's talking about normally.
Because
he wants to deal because he doesn't want to run into like religious issues. So he's like, look, there's this thing that escapes all stats.
Wait, let me actually grab the screenshots of the stuff I'm using before I actually move any farther, okay? Because I don't want to get too off topic and then like go to the topic itself and like stupid about it. So let me grab the scans first.
Okay.
Here we go. I can't find the freaking dude's name where I sent it to. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So are you aware what Viper in SCP is or no?
The name rings a bell, but tell me about it.
It's just basically the guy that like he is. Think of it as a turtle in a way, and think of this turtle as like the entire Platonic tree of knowledge, or you want to call it whatever, the tree library, whatever you want to call it. This is kind of like it holds the entire tree on its back, and this person itself is the. I'll send the screenshot. I think you understand it from there, but he's kind of like the principal embodiment in a way. I'll send it though. 1 sec. Where do I send this at exactly?
Just put it in VC supplements, to be fair.
Oh, what the hell? Where the hell is that at?
So if you see how we're in general, it's like a couple. It's one of the text chats in the voice chat category here.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
VC supplements. You may just do that then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody's
there you
tagged you
go.
in that.
Yeah, I see that. Here we go. The all-knowing God, the guardian of the tree of knowledge, the idea being the inherent truth of all things, the Platonic concept of knowledge, the emptiness beyond life and death, the end of all things, and the endless darkness beyond the uncountable, regular, strong limit cardinality universe and the exiled library. So there's two things I
Okay.
want to address here. I feel like the Platonic concept of knowledge is a actual wide degree I want to cover in a minute, but we'll cover that last actually because I want to cover something else. Would you agree that this kind of like this person right here is the embodiment of principles?
One.
Would you agree that this Viper, like this character, is the embodiment of principles, the fundamental source of chains of reasoning?
It doesn't say anything about that here. Just as it's the inherent truth of all things and the Platonic concept of knowledge.
I mean, that's what I'm
fine.
saying. Everything and anything holds like some type of truth within, or actually, we wouldn't be able to know the certain properties of it.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I definitely don't agree with that. A rock does not have a truth value, right? A rock just exists.
The reason I'm making a correlation between the two is let me explain how. Is because I'm saying everything relies on fundamental truth, aka principles, and I think it qualifies as a person as a principle. Because let's think about it. What other aspects or ways?
This is just useless jargon. What do you mean by truth?
Useless jargon.
Yeah. What do you mean by truth and principle?
Principle is a qualified fundamental truth, correct?
What do you think a truth is? What is a fundamental truth?
I mean, I would say fundamental. Like, let me see how I want to describe this actually. Let me see. Do you want me to grab like an exact definition for you, or do you want me to grab exactly?
Well, what you're saying, it just doesn't make any sense to me. There are some things, like a proposition can be true or false, right? I don't think things are true or false. Like a rock is not true or false, right? A rock is just a rock.
Okay, I'm trying to think how I can describe this exactly, because I've actually never had someone ask me to describe a fundamental truth before. Let's see. I mean, I'm just gonna get covered around.
Are you trying to talk about first principles?
Yeah, like first principles. Okay. Yes, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
So the main example of a first principle is like Descartes' cogito ergo sum, right? Is that the sort of thing you're thinking of? Do I think this thing is like the cogito? Because I don't.
I'm just saying actually, you know what? I think I have another scan actually for this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do that point. It's just I'm just gonna say the Platonic concept of knowledge. That's all I want here. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay, bet. Now we got the Trinity of God scale real quick. If I can even find it. There's so much stuff I have to find. Not so much actually. Take that back. Trinity. Here we go. Now this is where the principal point comes in. Here we go. I found it. Thanks. So you've heard of the unmoved moved or shit like that, you know, like theology type of wise.
From Aristotle.
Yeah, like that kind of shit. Yeah. Where is that channel? I'm trying to find it. 1 second. VC supplements. Let me send it real quick too. Here you go.
Move are going to be important.
I mean, I feel like it kind of describes the context of this guy being the very first thing, like, you know, the actual creator of the causal sequences of all SCP.
Sure, it like starts the causal chain. That's fine. That could be anything though. I mean, it doesn't actually have to be strong.
It has to be strong. I know. I'm going to cover the cosmology in a minute too. Like, I'm getting there. Don't worry. I mean, would you agree that's already out of all Platonic concepts, or do you want me to actually like dive more into Platonic, like what are like all Platonic concepts it can hold?
Sorry, what?
Wait, you yourself already agree it's out of all, do you not?
The Platonic concepts are outer, yeah.
Okay.
Platonic
That okay. That'll make that a lot easier then. Let me grab the second screenshot. Okay, so you're obviously aware what 3812 is. I know you love him. Anyhow, so here we go. Are you aware what the E-gloss gun is or no?
I've heard of it, but go ahead and explain it to me.
Okay, so there was like 3812 became a problem because there was characters such as the supernatural being and shit like that. And they wanted to stop 3812 from being like, some atrocious threat or actually holding, control of the narrative. So they decided to make, I can't really say make, the Scarlet Demon was like made kind of tore off a part of his body and it kind of became a spear. And it's called the Malicious Egros Gun, which was able to actually kill 3812, which I can send you a whole article about it if you want, several shit about it. Which, as we know, every time 3812 was to transcend something, another narrative gets creative in the aspects of it. So, as we know, people like the Swans, like just inaccessibly transcend shit like that, correct?
Inaccessibly transcend? What does that mean?
I would say, like, for example, no fictional character in reality or like actual logically can reach our plane of existence. We inaccessibly transcend these fictional characters.
No, I think that's a total misappropriation of that terminology. No, or not that terminology. You're presenting a very controversial view of fiction as in a hierarchical relationship with humanity, but it doesn't seem to have a hierarchical relationship with us, right? It's just a thing we create.
Okay, wait, you're saying it has to have a hierarchy form?
It's just a different type of thing. There isn't like this cosmological structure between us and fiction.
I'm not really saying in the SCP cosmology. There it is. If you're aware what the alpha layer is, so I think that's completely misconstrued.
What?
Okay, you know the alpha.
What do you mean by inaccessible transcendence?
Okay,
why? What does that mean?
I'm saying because in any Turing system, I think it's even VSPW and yours have the same correlation with it. There's like this. If you'd actually notice, it's like, for example, high 1A is characters that can dwarf the meaning or actually like just manipulate the meaning of what an universal thing actually is from like above them or like another higher realm above them. And I'm saying these swans. That's wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the exact definition.
That's not what high outer is.
Doesn't it say
high outer
dwarf?
is a thing that makes an outerversal object look like a dimensioned object in comparison to it. It's the same gap between an outerversal thing and a dimensioned thing. Again.
Okay, I'm saying inaccessible transcendence quantifies for this.
You're saying an inaccessible transcendence is equal to an outerversal transcendence?
No, I'm saying a high. I mean, say for example, we both know what swans are. I'm saying swans would be qualified as baseline high 1A in this terms that you're setting.
Wait, why?
Sure, because they can just write down like random. Like I hate this argument, but for example, as we know, swans write everything. They're a bunch of horror fictional writers that view everything as fiction. It's out of SCP. These horror writers can they look at everything as dimensional things. They look at them as paper. They can just write on and view them as aspects of fiction. They can just do whatever they want, play with it as toys.
That doesn't make them high 1A.
Yeah, it does because they view them as dimensional coordination, as you just said.
I don't exist above something unless they look 1A in comparison to those things, then it's not.
I mean, listen, no actual fiction or verse. We both know this. We ourselves know it's already 1A. We already agreed to this. I'm saying if me and you, we are this say for example, me and you are these fictional writers, and they look at these people as paper, which is like dimensional, as you said in your own words. You said dimensional. They view them as dimensional. Dimensions. I don't know what you want to call that.
They also look dimensioned. We see ourselves as dimensioned. Like the swan writers see themselves as dimensioned too. It's just on the same level. I'm talking about the gap. I'm talking about the gap between an outerversal thing and a dimension.
Parrot.
There needs to be that same gap between an outerversal thing and a high outer thing.
I'm gonna have to stop you. I'm gonna have to stop you for a moment. Where the hell does it state one time that these people view themselves as dimensional people?
Why would they not be? By the same reasoning that you're saying they view these other things as dimensional.
Because they created all. Wait a minute. They are like beyond your beings that created the entirety of dimensionality itself.
Okay, in the context that we're talking about here, where they see these things as dimensioned, they're seeing themselves in the same way. Why would they not be seeing themselves in the same way? You have to actually show that in comparison, these two things, one looks undimensioned and the other looks dimensioned.
because they're beyond the entirety of dimensionality or even the concepts of it. That's kind of goofy to say that they're dimensional.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying they are dimensioned. Okay, we're talking about a perspective-based thing, right? Where one thing is seeing something else as dimensioned when previously we otherwise would say that it's not, right? They're seeing it that way. What then precludes them from also seeing themselves that way? Which is what would be necessary. Yeah, that's what would be like. For instance, I can write a story that has outerversal stuff in it, right? And I see the stuff in the story as dimensioned, but I also see myself as dimensioned. I'm seeing them on the same scale. It's not like I have an outerversal transcendence above them or something like this, right? There's at best like a dimensional transcendence there, like just a higher dimensional state.
So let me be blunt about this and keep it straight. Are you saying that these characters themselves, how do we know that these characters themselves aren't dimensional, but they're just viewing another dimension below them?
I'm saying that what you're talking about is not proof for an outerversal transcendence. Just seeing something that's otherwise outerversal as dimensioned does not make you high 1A. There has to be the same gap between a dimension thing and an outerversal thing between these two as well, which is not the same.
Okay. That's where I'm going to think that's where we're going to come to a disagreement exactly, because I'm telling you, I think it is, and I'll explain how in one moment.
You're wrong.
You can tell me I'm wrong afterwards.
I'm wrong because I made the tiering system.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying like you're entirely wrong. I'm just like trying to cover something, okay? You said yourself the qualification for being a high 1A is viewing a thing such as a outerversal being as a dimensional thing, okay? Now here's what we're coming to.
I didn't say that. I never said that.
What?
I didn't say that. What I very clearly said is that a high 1A thing is outerversal. It makes an outerversal thing look like a dimensioned thing in comparison to it. I didn't say that merely seeing an outerversal thing as dimensioned qualified as that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say it like this: if I was to just cover the extent of how far they're beyond like an outerversal being, would you like then accept it being high outer, or like what do you want me to do exactly for like scaling wise? Because there's a lot more cosmos.
Look, it's very where a dimension thing is 0 and an outerversal thing is 1, a high outerversal thing is 2. Okay, that's the difference. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, now that's okay. I know what you're saying completely, Parrot. I understand that. I'm just telling you, I'm going to show the extent of what these swans did and how far they're truly beyond these things, and then maybe we can come to some agreement. Is that okay?
Go ahead. Try.
Okay, bet. Now, some people disagree with this. Do you know what transfinite recursion is?
Go ahead and explain it to me.
Sure. So, I think that's
exactly... you a little monkey, you chimpanzee?
Corin, no.
Of course, right on your phone.
Parrot thing. Parrot, can you please mute him? But, anyhow, though, what I was trying to say exactly is, transfinite recursion, I believe it's in ZFCs, and it's actually in both, which I'll cut to the chase. Do you think set theory is bound by, like, dimensionality or spatial coordinations, or no?
I think that's a total incomprehensible statement.
I mean, I'm asking you a question, so, I mean, it's up to you if you want to answer.
I think it's a category error. That's like saying, what's the truth value of blue? Like, set theory, things described by set theory aren't encapsulated nor describe dimension things at all. It's an amount of something.
Yeah, it's a quantification for these things. I'm saying, can we just have a set in some possible world that's beyond all dimensionality?
You can describe anything as being in a set.
I know that.
Unless it's precluded in its definition, you can describe anything as being in a set. It's like the number 1 or the number 2. Do I think I could say there's one of something that's outerversal? Yes, I do. But that doesn't mean that the one itself is outer or something like this.
Yeah, now, I'm just saying, though, these quantifications, like these structures inside this verse, or these sets, as we say it, that hold all these things, they just view as fiction, which would be absolute infinity, like shit, all like that chain that holds all these aspects.
Whoa. What are you talking about? Why you're saying that there are these things that are in sets, and they see these sets as fictional, and you're saying that this is absolute infinity?
Pause. We already misconstrued it already. I'm saying that the entire chain of set theory, it could be Cantors, it could be ZFCs, it could be any of it. All of that is the entire gap between the swans and the outerversal Platonic concepts that we already agreed to. You want me to show that, or what do you want me to do so far?
I think what you're saying is totally incoherent. What do you mean there's a gap that this thing is?
Okay.
Set theory is just a way of grouping things together.
Yeah,
It's like saying there's two of something. It doesn't. You can't say that this way of describing the amount of things there is somehow a gap between two things. That doesn't make any sense.
I disagree. Okay, but
well, it's obviously incoherent. How strong is the number 2?
How strong is the number 2? I don't know.
Yeah, how strong is it?
I mean, it depends on what is 2 hold.
Okay, there you go. How many? What 2 of what is exactly right?
That's my point.
Okay,
listen.
So you can't just say that set theory exists in this gap. Okay, set theory describes an amount of things.
I know.
That's all it is.
Parrot. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know. We're having some disagreement.
And I dislike that you're merging all these different types of set theories together. Like that makes sense.
I'm not. I wasn't. I was just saying if you need a better understanding, I could use the mellow Frankels to help you better understand. I'm saying these sets.
I understand set theory very well. I'm not convinced that you do.
Oh, okay. I'm convinced I know more about it, but it's okay though. Parrot, what I'm gonna say now though is these things I already showed you. As we know, you even agreed to this already. We can describe them as sets, correct?
What can describe what as sets?
Oh my god, the universal platonic concept, Parrot.
You can put anything in a set except absolute infinity.
That's my entire point. I'm talking about right now. Talking something like this, okay? These universal things that we already agreed to already. Right now are a set, which we agreed that anything can be described as a set besides absolute infinity, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. So now, the distinction between 1 and 2, as the analogy Freddie gave before, okay? These sets, there can be sets of infinitely transcendent beings beyond, these universal planes, then sets beyond that sets and over and over and over consistently as a hierarchy, correct?
Sure. You could establish any kind of hierarchy you wanted and give it a name.
Now, these swans just magically view all of these sets, no matter what quantification it could be for an universal being to...
Whoa, wait, why does this hierarchy you're talking about exist in SCP?
Oh, that's easy to prove. You want me to prove that, actually?
Yeah, of course.
That, of course.
You're saying that there's an infinite hierarchy, at least an infinite hierarchy of 1A transcendences in SCP?
Yes. Completely.
Okay, you're gonna have to prove that that's a thing. Yeah, and by the way, the fact that you're calling them the swans is already a set. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's just
the set of all swans is a set.
It could be a set just beyond all those other sets I already described. That's cool.
Okay, but they're still a set. They can still be put into a set.
Okay,
that means they can't be beyond all sets.
I'm saying they're just beyond all the sets I've already described besides absolute infinity. I'm not saying they're beyond all sets. I'm saying they're beyond the sets of universal beings.
If you can show that, sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I mean, so being beyond the set of all universal beings wouldn't make you high 1A anyway. You mean that there's a set where each universal being is universal to the one before it.
Okay.
That's what you're talking about.
Hierarchy. Hierarchy. So we're gonna say hierarchy. That's the best way to describe it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, bet. So you know what 3812 is, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. So every time 3812 was to just transcend all of it, which we all know, the common misconceptions of 3812 does this, 3812 does that. All I'm saying is 3812 in itself is a spiral hierarchy, literally stated in the actual document. It's a hierarchy that transcends the past thing over and over and over and over. And so that in itself is really transcending these, these 1A things being a hierarchy.
No, why? Why would it?
Because it transcends everything in the verse besides the swans.
When does that happen?
When does that happen? Several times.
It doesn't happen in his main article. In his main article, it specifically says that they don't think SCP-3812 will ever transcend the Tree of Knowledge.
That's where I'm going to disagree.
It does say that. It says that they think with infinite time he might surpass creation. It looks like the way he's transcending isn't even like a dimensional
Parrot. Now this is where we're going to come to some laughable moments. Okay, so are you aware of? Okay, I don't know how to actually say this to you. As we know, there's several documents by DJ Cactus that actually portray and present 30. Yo, okay, Parrot, can we please ban Reaper's Little Lolly, please? Please, I'm begging.
Well,
please.
He has a disturbing name.
Don't ban him.
I'm banned.
Oh wow.
Okay. Anyhow, though. Parrot. So say it like this. 3812. There's several different documents about him. There's a document I'm specifically using, and this is my favorite document of all time about him. Now I'm gonna grab the screenshots of him, and now this is where it's gonna just get a little bit more entertaining. Let me grab it real quick for you. Where is 3812 at? I'm sorry, I have so much stuff in my scan server. I gotta keep finding stuff. Jingers. 3812.
I think you're getting ahead of yourself a bit. You seem to keep like jumping around. Why didn't you just like start from the beginning?
That's
and
why.
scale the cosmology.
That's what I'm doing. I'm using 3812 as part of the cosmology scaling.
Well, we've got something to outer, right? So you're trying to now show that there's an outerversal transcendence above that outer stuff.
Oh, I'm saying anything is existent, like as high as you can possibly get an outerversal. These swans are just magically beyond it. But I'll grab the stuff like
I agree that the swans are beyond these 1A things, but they're not like a high 1A.
Oh, I'm saying it's a high 1A. I'm going to prove that too.
Okay,
so we're going to like
show it's high 1A. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Bet. By the way, I've never ever used this tiering system before, so like I'm kind of like scrolling, like looking through it as I'm telling you stuff.
Okay, that's probably a bad thing to try and tell me about it then.
Oh, don't worry. It's completely fine. Zingers. Okay, wait. Oh, I think I found it. Chances the correction. The 13 gods of creation were surpassed. I'm trying to. Oh, wait. Oh, that's perfect, actually. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. Okay. Bet. So I think we have now, as I told you, there's several files of 3812. Let me grab this real quick for you. Now, this is my favorite thing about him. Wait, what did this guy send? High outerverse. So I know that already. I already read about it. Like, I got like, myself like a little brief response over it. Okay, bet. So I'm sending the screenshot right now for you. Now, you can actually read it if you want. It says he will eventually surpass the entirety of the narrative echelon, the narrative stack, is composed of the infinite narrative in all creations, and even surpass himself infinitely. This will get him beyond the entire, even, as the tree of knowledge.
Can you link the article that this is from, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's from the CN branch. Is that okay with you?
From the what branch?
The Chinese branch.
Is that okay with me? Do you have a reliable translation?
Oh, yeah. If you want to translate yourself, you can do it. It's like consistently stated like 5 times on several.
No, I don't think I can. What do you mean translate it myself? You're talking about machine translation?
I mean, oh, don't you? No. I've had a personal Japanese person read out loud for me in his own.
You've had a Japanese person translate Chinese for you? That's interesting.
Yeah. So I've had
Maybe you should get a Chinese person to translate it instead of a Japanese person.
This Japanese person knows this Chinese.
Well, why did you tell me they were Japanese then? Why did that matter?
Because I just wanted to like give you a little more.
Why didn't you just say I know someone that knows Chinese that translated it?
Okay, enough of the trolling stuff. Okay.
What do you mean the trolling stuff? No, I'm not happy with you randomly bringing fucking Chinese branch shit I can't even read.
Okay,
Use stuff that I can actually read and confirm.
Okay, then learn Chinese. It's not my fault.
Bing chilling.
What? Do you know Chinese?
Yes.
I do.
Do you know Chinese?
I do.
Yeah, I know. I know Chinese. Yeah.
What's the Chinese word for death?
Bing chilling.
I'm joking for you. But Parrot, can we actually quit with the trolling? I can actually give you several sources.
What trolling? No, I don't think that the Chinese branch is part of the same stuff that all the other SCPs follow. No, I think it's a totally separate thing. I don't know anything about the Chinese branch. I can't read it.
Yeah, well, you can't read it. You literally can't. There's a whole ass dedicated SCP.
I can't read it because I can't read Chinese. What is complicated about that?
I had a dream where I gave webcam Parrot back shots while pulling his hair.
What the
What are you talking about?
Bro, what the
No, I'm not going to talk about Chinese branch stuff with you. Okay?
No, Parrot, wait, I'll
show me regular SCP stuff. I don't know anything about the Chinese branch. Okay. Nothing I've said about it has anything to do with Chinese.
This is working. Working. Okay, this is working.
So if you actually know what the Chinese branch is, it's all it is the Chinese people are like giving like a Chinese interpretation, or not interpretation, sorry. A Chinese, like, how should I say it? They translate it from English to Chinese.
It's people who like making SCP stuff and they're Chinese. And they make SCP articles.
No, they just make it in Chinese for people that read Chinese and not English.
Okay, well then you don't need to show me the Chinese version of it. You can just show me the English version of the thing they've made. Why the fuck are you showing me the Chinese version?
Because I feel like it. I like it one more.
Okay, it sounds like there's going to be problems there in translation, right? Show me the original, please.
I did show you the original.
Can you link me the original article? What you're trying to use for this?
My Jigger, you were listening, bro. What? Yeah, actually, there's so much links for this kind of stuff. Holy, which ones do you want? Like, you want 4 or 5? How many do you want?
Give me the link to this article you're citing right now, and then we will read it and talk about it.
SCP Wiki and then you have to look up CN translations, and it'll pop right up for you.
No, post me the original. We just talked about whether we're using Chinese stuff or not. Post the original article that talks about the argument you're trying to make right now.
Yeah, I'm saying for Chinese, this is the original, and there's nothing wrong with me doing this or flawed.
I'm not. I don't care about any of this Chinese branch
I
stuff.
do.
Okay, nothing. I don't care. None of my statements about SCP have anything to do with the Chinese branch, which I think is a totally separate thing. And you yourself just said that all it is the English stuff put into Chinese.
That's a lie.
So why would we put the English stuff into Chinese and then into English again? Just show me the original English article.
Parrot, that was bad. You just lied, bro. Let me explain how you're
saying.
What
did I lie about?
Sure, you said SCP is weak as hell, and now you're saying, due to me, like, gonna present some Chinese stuff.
That's what my status says, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, your status, you put it there, didn't you? Don't tell me you didn't.
I did put it there, yes, it's my status.
So listen, SCP, now you didn't say English, you didn't say Chinese, you didn't say German.
Oh wow, I'm sorry that my status did not fully explain all of the possible modalities.
Oh, and I already told you, I already said it in general 4 times. Like, are you
going to show me the original English stuff that can get to high 1A or not?
I'm gonna use the Chinese ones.
Okay, so you can't.
I said I can using Chinese stuff.
Okay, so you can't show me what I'm asking you to show me.
I feel like this is racist. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Racist?
Yeah, what? I think it's racist. I think it's very racist.
What's racist?
You're saying that English. You're saying English is original in Chinese. Is it?
He said that's racist. Yeah, the articles are originally written in English. Are they?
No, they're not. Go ahead and prove that. Actually,
is that not what you said?
No, I did not say that once.
Okay, I thought that's what you said.
No, you said the original. I said Chinese is original.
Chinese is the original, so it's separate from the other SCP stuff originally written. In English.
Now that's gonna We already went over this.
Earlier you said earlier you said that the Chinese stuff is just versions of the English stuff in Chinese.
Yeah,
you specifically went out of your way to tell me that. What the fuck
I meant like this.
By that, then?
Yeah, you took it the wrong way though. I think we're semantically going the wrong way.
Okay, so that's hardly my fault for taking the very obvious interpretation.
Well, no. Listen, actually, I think how this actually went, like not even trolling anymore, like actually being for real. I think how this exactly
you were trolling?
Oh no, I was not trolling ever. I was never. Okay. Anyhow, being for real though.
I think we're done here.
I don't think we're done yet. I got it high outer.
Well, I'm going to take that as a concession on your part. You tried really hard to do your weird set theory wank stuff. It didn't work. You tried to like make this weird like viewed dimension argument, and it didn't work. We're done. Wasting my time. If he wants to come back with real arguments, he can come back with real arguments. Not this weird fucking semantic argument with me over what's the original. God damn. It's always the same shit too. It's not even different arguments from what the other dudes were saying to me the whole time.
Reaper, he just said your S. Reaper left.
I banned him.
Let's go.
I banned him after he said that he was trolling me.
This guy lives in a Reaper-free environment.
At the moment, yeah.
Damn.
But apparently, there's a lot of people named Reaper who.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, bro.
I don't know why people naming themselves after Reaper.
I was just hoping that it would be like a regular conversation with a normal person and not him like hedging over all this philosophical stuff.
He lives in Ohio.
He lives in Ohio, Parrot.
He lives in Ohio. That's all that needs to be said on it.
Ohio moment.
As someone who lives in Ohio, that's not an excuse.
Nate is also an Ohio moment.
I am indeed.
Bro.
Like, why was he talking about like first principles and shit? He doesn't know anything about that stuff blatantly. Or set theory. He kept being like,